Summary of Canto 3, Chapter 5. Vidura talks with Maitreya. In the previous chapter, we saw that Vidura reached the bank of the river Ganges, where the great sage Maitreya had come. Vidura, who had perfected his devotional service, approached Maitreya Rishi at Haridwar, and he began to inquire from him. Vidura, out of his natural humility, he did not want to inquire from Maitreya directly about the Lord's form, pastimes, and other activities. But first, he inquired into a subject matter that was more relevant to a common man. Vidura asked, in this world, everyone is engaged in fruitive activities, karma, for happiness, but they find neither happiness nor satiation or detachment. Rather, they keep increasing their suffering. So please therefore give us directions on how to live for real happiness. Great philanthropic souls travel all over the earth on behalf of Lord Janardana to show compassion to the fallen souls who are so averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord, and therefore we are all suffering. So please give me instruction on the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, so that the Supreme Lord is pleased to impart his knowledge about the absolute truth. How does the independent and desireless Lord Krishna, the Lord of the three Purushas, accept incarnations to create and maintain this world? How does the Lord, fixed in the space of his heart, sleep in the Viraja river, and how does he enter into the universe and expand into so many forms? Describe the Lord's various pastimes that produce auspiciousness for the Brahmanas, cows, and all the Devatas. Our minds are never satiated hearing them. Like this, he requested Maitreya to speak about the Purushavataras, the Virat Rupa, and the Leelavataras. Then he asked, how does the Lord create different planets along with their rulers, where living entities are situated in different modes? How does the Lord, as Brahma, create the natures, activities, forms, features, and names of different living creatures? Being devoid of the nectar of Krishna's pastimes, the lesser topics like the Mahabharata, which I have heard from Vyasadeva, are not satisfying me. But you have heard plentiful discussions about Krishna also. Who in the human society can be fully satisfied just by hearing talks of mundane things? Unless one hears the talks of the Lord, who is worshipped by great devotees, one can never be truly satisfied. Only such topics can cut off one's bondage simply by when these topics enter the holes of one's ears. Your friend Vyasadeva has described Mahabharata to attract the masses of people. And he has also described Krishna Katha through several material topics. Krishna Katha increases indifference to all other things, and such remembrance of the lotus feet of Krishna actually vanquishes all miseries without any delay. Sinful and ignorant people who are very averse to Krishna Katha are very, very much pitied. Everyone pities them because their lives is totally spoilt in rituals and speculations. So therefore, O friend of the distress, O Arthabandho, Harikatha alone is the ultimate good for everybody. So kindly describe that essence of all the topics for our welfare, just like how bees collect honey from flowers. Maitreya at this point couldn't decide what to describe first. So then Vidura, he hinted. Vidura had asked so many questions. So Vidura now hinted to Maitreya what he needs to speak first. So Vidura said, please describe the activities of the Purushavataras first. Maitreya Rishi was so greatly honored by Vidura, and he began to speak for the welfare of all. He said, by your glorious inquiries, you showed mercy both on me and this world, as your mind is so absorbed in transcendence. It is not at all astonishing, because being born from Vyasadeva, you have accepted the Lord without any deviation. I know that you were Yamaraj, and now you are Vidura, and you have come here because of the curse of Mandavya Muni. You are the Lord's eternal associate, and for your sake the Lord left instructions with me before departing. I shall describe to you the pastimes of the Purusha incarnations, the creation, maintenance, and destruction of this universe. To describe the creation process, Maitreya described the prior state first. Maitreya began to explain the purpose of the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. He said, Bhagavan alone existed prior to this creation of the universe, as one is without a second. Before the creation, the external energy, Maya Shakti, was dormant, while the internal energy was already manifest. The Lord felt imperfect without the external energy, just like a lonely husband in the absence of his wife. The Lord actually wanted to create the material cosmic manifestation to awaken the forgetful, sleeping, conditioned souls to spiritual consciousness, and therefore He wanted to give them another chance to go back to Godhead. The Lord, who is the perfect seer, through the agency of Maya, which works as both cause and effect, creates the entire material manifestation. The Lord of Mahavaikuntha, in his plenary expansion as Karnodakshay Vishnu, impregnates the material nature of the three modes, and he impregnates them with the living entities. This happens by the influence of the Lord's Kala Shakti or time potency. Every stage of creation is influenced by the Lord's glance and the time factor, and is associated with the material energy and the Jiva Shakti. Influenced by the eternal time, the Pradhan is then transformed into Mahat Tattva, which is predominated by Sattva and is composed of the potency of knowledge. Accompanying that Mahat Tattva is the Sutra Tattva that manifests the potency of activity, Kriya Shakti, and it is predominated by Rajoguna. Mahat is glanced upon by the Lord and transforms into Ahankara or Aham Tattva, which is false ego, which is predominated by Tamoguna. The false ego is manifested in three phases: Adidaiva, Adiatma, Atibhuta. False ego in goodness creates the mind and demigods. False ego and passion is the senses, the speculative knowledge and fruitive activities. False ego and ignorance is sense objects or the tanmatras and gross elements. The quality of sound is seen in the sky. Sky has the quality of sound. Air has the quality of touch. Fire has the quality of form, water has the quality of taste, and earth has the quality of smell. The qualities of all the physical elements are due to the final touch of the Lord's glance. The qualities of each element, starting with the sky, increase successively. The Supreme Lord's glance on the sum total of material energy, Maya, infuses it with time, Kala, destiny, karma, and nature, Swabhava, of the Jivas, thereby agitating it. The agitated equilibrium state, which is known as Pradhan, then produces Mahat Tattva, a state which, although has all the three modes, is predominantly of goodness and passion due to Jnana and Kriya Shaktis. This state further transforms into Ahankara, which is predominantly in Tamoguna or ignorance. This state produces three energies called as Jnana Shakti, derived from Sattva Guna, Kriya Shakti, derived from Rajoguna, and Dravya Shakti, derived from Tamoguna. The Dravya Shakti has the capacity to produce 5 gross elements. Kriya Shakti produces the senses. Jnana Shakti produces the sense devatas. At each level of transformation, the Lord's energy in the form of time produces the subsequent state of transformations. The controlling deity of all elements, portions of Vishnu, were unable to perform their universal duties as they were not related to each other. So therefore, with folded hands, they began praising the Lord. They said, "You are the umbrella for miseries. Your lotus feet are like an umbrella for the surrendered souls by which they throw off all miseries. Suffering is due to ignorance, and knowledge alleviates this ignorance. You are full of knowledge, overwhelmed by tapatraya, the jivas, they never have any happiness. Therefore, we all take shelter of you. We take shelter at the shade of your lotus feet, which is full of knowledge. You can vanquish all the sinful reactions. The great sages, carried by the wings of the Vedas, always search after the nest of your lotus-like face. By taking shelter of the Ganges, they surrender to your lotus feet that vanquish sinful reactions. You are the one who reveals knowledge and detachment. Hearing about and meditating upon your lotus feet and devotion gives everyone knowledge and detachment. You are the one who awards remembrance and courage. You assume incarnations for creation, maintenance, and dissolution, and your lotus feet alone awards remembrance and courage to the devotees. Your lotus feet is unapproachable by those bound by thoughts of I and mine, although you dwell in their bodies. Why do they not take to pure bhakti which is attained by a devotees association? That is because offensive persons are engrossed in materialistic activities and they cannot see your lotus feet. But pure devotees, they can see you as you are, and their aim is to relish your activities. Simply by drinking the nectar of Krishna Katha and with earnest devotional service, one easily achieves all complete knowledge, renunciation, and attains even Vaikuntha Loka. The jnanis, by dint of mental concentration and knowledge, also enter your Sayujya Mukti. But for them, there is so much pain. Whereas for the devotee who is simply serving you, he doesn't feel such pain. You created us for the sake of creation. But because we are disunited, we cannot act together for your pleasure. So please enlighten us regarding the ways by which we can offer you all enjoyable things so that both we and all living entities can maintain ourselves without any disturbance. You are the origin of all the demigods. You are the oldest and you are unchanged. You are unborn, yet you are impregnated. Yet you have impregnated this external energy with the semen of your total living entities. Kindly, therefore, award us directions, your perfect knowledge and potency, so that we can render you service for which we are created. This ends the summary of Canto 3, Chapter 5, Vidura's Talks with Maitreya.